We got a whole heap of streamers. For the first time ever in history, we have the Mates and Legends stream team. Exclamation mark mates actually will give you all the list of the streamers and who's co-casting today, and that's who is co-casting with me. That is Wolfcane, Dolby Mate, Logistic Lava, Porky, and Kimicha. For the first time ever, we have a large group of people co-casting together, and it's actually fantastic. Those channels will be available for you to check out. Definitely go check those channels out. There's an awesome group of people, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know that for a fact that this is going to be an interesting lineup. We got REPOI versus a different team at the moment at this stage. So we got REPOI versus JC, and we got Northern Waters as the first map. So good luck to both teams. So we're double checking everything here, so it should be good.
I've quite liked the deployment they've had so far, and the Northern Waters is very interesting since it's a very adaptable map. You can do a lot of interesting things. Typically, teams which favor a mobility strat or is able to reposition very effectively in the mid game gets the advantage on Northern Waters, and REPOI is very known that is one of their core advantages and strengths. So my money is on REPOI taking this first map. Maybe JC will be able to pull something out.
Okay, so overall, you think your money's on REPOI taking the matches?
Yeah, I'm favoring REPOI about a 7 to 3 odds. Right, I reckon.
Well, I reckon before we go around the table, it's important to note why these games, they aren't a rubber ducky, they aren't a stalemate. Whoever wins these games and moves into the lower bracket third place finals actually fights off for a placement in the international finals. I've actually seen before where a team who is first placed in their regionals doesn't win, and a team that placed a second or third moves forward into the international finals. So this is still a very, very important set.
So to introduce the stream team behind me, we got me is like the Logistic Llama, Porky, Kimicha, Wolfcane, Dolby Mate, and Logistic Llama, and myself. So this is going to be a very interesting match.
How they perform, but both teams definitely have a chance to win.
Porky, I know who you want to say. We just breathe a piece over you.
Look, so in these type of games, this isn't just a normal game of World of Warships, right? This is probably some of the biggest games that these players will ever play. So in this kind of stage, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be like a massive homer, but I have to go with REPOI. You know, they've been there, they've done that, they've got the experience. Yeah, we spoke yesterday, they're a little bit undermanned, but I mean, look, man, I learned a long time ago, do not doubt these guys. So that's where I'm staying.
All right. Hello, Revan. Nice of you to join us, good sir.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just thinking my money's on REPOI at this stage.
All right, well,
I feel like the bookies have to adjust the odds. Really?
No, it's not
I'm gonna back JC just to be different.
JC is different. All right.
And then moving on to our only acclaimed KOTS player and also caster, Wolfie, as the most experienced member here. Who's your money on?
Well, see, I have not seen JC play, so I have to go with what I know, and that's REPOI. I know a few of the players, and I know they're very skilled, but again,
Okay, folks, this is a bit of an interesting lineup for REPOI versus JC. This is going to be an interesting lineup, my friends. We got REPOI is coming out with swinging with the Montana, Ohio, Des Moines, Goliath, Naphtali, Moskva, Daring, 2 Shimikazes, with the Conqueror, Kremlin, Des Moines, 2 Moskvas, and Mesky, 2 Darings, and a Vampire are coming out swinging in Northern Waters. So this is going to be an interesting lineup, folks. With that being said, my friends, I mean, like, this is going to be an interesting match for both JC and REPOI, and it's actually, anything can happen, will happen in this match. Good luck everybody for hashtag KOTS, and getting the giveaway straight away. Good luck everybody. Alright, so this is going to be an interesting battle, folks. I mean, like, the REPOI team and JC are in the finals. So this could go either way. So remember that the JC and REPOI have been two very good consecutive teams on the C server and have been doing a great job to get to where they are today. So it looks like that the REPOI team are actually moving into position at heading towards with a daring at B, and also Shimikaze towards A, and looks like Shimikaze towards C. Okay, that's interesting. They're doing a bit of a split off here. So anything can happen, will happen here, folks. It looks like a bit of an interesting gameplay for both sides, and I have to say that this is a pretty, good start in the right direction, my friends. That anything can happen with this. So it looks like the JC team are coming out swinging with the daring going towards C, but they got a Vampire 2 over in B with a daring subordinate. And looks like the Moskva is just coming to support over at B. There's Des Moines and Conqueror heading towards Lucy towards A, so anything can happen here. The Moskva and the Kremlin are actually coming out with the Nevesky towards C, so it's actually pretty much an interesting lineup. So the first match of the day for the grand finals, this is actually not bad at all. I mean, like, anything can happen, will happen, so good luck everybody. And this is a good match all around, so good luck. To both teams. REPOI is, has been pretty good to get to where they are. REPOI are a bunch of Australians and New Zealanders, as well as some Asian players who have been working collaboratively together for quite a long time. And look at the daring, they're actually getting a focus fired on in the middle at very Bravo, and by the daring, and also the Nevesky, Moskvas, and wow, this daring is actually getting pounded on. The daring is actually forced to do a tactical retreat, and it's getting burning up pretty bad. This is unreal. So anything can happen here, folks. It's actually a pretty much intense battle. The Vampire 2 is actually just hiding behind that island, and the Moskva's already radared that ship already, and actually trying to attack it with the Des Moines supporting it, and they haven't got any good shots on that thing just yet. But looks like that JC's reciprocated with the Conqueror, firing at long range, extreme range against the Ohio. The Ohio might take a couple of hits here at long range. And looks like, yep, just a little bit of salvo. Oh, there's a big blow with a big chunk of its health on the Ohio. Torps are coming into the Shimikaze. I don't know what's going on here. So, looks like the Torps are coming in close. Shimikaze for REPOI is playing it smart, but he might get hit by one of these Torps. Nope, he's actually fine. He just skinned past it. Very lucky. Alright, Torps have been reciprocated towards the Vampire 2, and there's nothing really happening over at A right now. The Shimikaze over at A is actually, for REPOI, is actually taking a gamble, but there's nothing there yet. The JC daring is actually moving into position over at A, so anything can happen. Oh, there's a lot of Torp action going towards this Moskva at JC, but the JC Moskva has taken only one hit only at this stage. Anything can happen here at the beginning. Too soon to tell. I mean, both sides have actually taken some hits. JC is actually playing conservatively and actually holding back in the right spots. Hydra's been fired up on both sides, and they're actually working as well as a team. No radar has been fired up yet, but looks like the Moskva at REPOI has fired up with a radar, and there's nothing going on at this stage. Looks like radar or Hydro. Well, anyway, Des Moines at the has fired up the surveillance radar, and at this stage, not surveillance radar, Hydro, and is actually trying to detect the Torps. And look at the Shimikaze REPOI team. Torps are coming in, and it's so close, and successfully dodges them. Alright, so anything can happen here. Alright, this is actually not a bad lineup, my friends. But there's a lot of good, Torps incoming, everything going on left and right and center. So all three caps are in play, so anything can happen. Alright, so this is actually pretty much a very interesting battle, so let's just see how it plays out. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Alright. Let's see, Torp's going in for the Shimikaze, and Shimikaze just dodged them. Well done, well played. Torps are coming in toward the JC. Daring successfully dodged them. Fantastic. Conqueror has taken a bit of a beating for the Demoy at long range with some HE fire. So anything can happen, will happen at long range. Alright. So there's a lot of Torps coming in. A lot of gunfire here going towards the Vampire too. So anything can happen here. This is actually pretty interesting. Shimikaze has long range Torps. These look like long range 20k Torps. They're not going that fast. It's actually pretty gradual by the looks of it. And anything can happen, will happen in this fight. My friends, I know that it's actually a pretty interesting battle coming up. So REPOI and JC are still... No one has been killed yet. There's some damages being done to the Vampire 2 and the Daring at this stage, so it could go either way with their health pools. But look at this, the Vampire 2 and the Moskva actually decided to change positions. So this is an interesting tactic they moved. C has been captured, B has been held in place by the JC team, and Alpha is being taken by REPOI. So anything can happen here. The Napoli is actually getting focus fired on at long range by the JC Napoli, and REPOI is actually just hanging back at the moment at this stage. So anything can happen, will happen in this frontier. So this battle is actually can be quite intense, folks. I mean, like, it could go either way. But, you know, to be honest with you, it's actually not a bad way to put it. Alright, so... It's looking good so far, folks, at this stage, but it's actually getting there. So... It looks like an interesting match right now coming up. Oh, okay. No worries. It's like an interesting battle. For those who jumping in chat just now, welcome to King of Sea Grand Finals. I am Admiral Revan. I'm streaming this, and this is a great match to see. JC versus REPOI. REPOI is actually folding back at the moment at this stage and just hanging in there, so anything can happen at this stage. It looks like they're playing casually at this stage. And REPOI is actually responding in kind, but the points are actually really coming up in JC's favor, and REPOI hasn't made a decisive attack yet. Looks like the Daring is actually trying to make a move here. Well, luckily they dodged those Torps. But it looks like REPOI has to make an aggressive push towards Bravo, and they're trying that with the Shimikaze and Daring. And the Moskva is unable to shoot the Daring at long range though, because he's hiding behind the arm. But those shells incoming from the Conqueror might be a decisive blow. No, the Moskva narrowly dodged them. Alright, lots of incoming Torps coming towards the REPOI Daring. REPOI Daring is showing his ass back and essentially reversing back into the cap. Looks like the REPOI Shimikaze is actually moving into position, and the Demoy over here and the Napoli over here in A are not making any movement at this stage. Looks like a lot of action going over here on C, where there's a lot of torpedo action going on, and whoa, there's a lot of Torps coming into this Kremlin, and this Kremlin might eat at least one Torp from REPOI. And yep, confirmed, it is a direct hit on the Kremlin. So it looks like one ship has gone down. The Vampire 2 from JC has gone down. REPOI is pushing into play here, so anything can happen here. So good luck, folks. This is actually a full-on battle fight right here. So hang in there, folks. Hang in there. But yes, all good. It's definitely an interesting battle right here. Good luck. Alright, so anything can happen here. The Shimikaze is actually moving back, so this is actually a very intensive fight right now. As anything can happen here, the Shimikaze is actually forcing itself to retreat. REPOI is actually getting under fire and flanked both sides. Now they're dodging the torps, and looks like the Noveski and the Daring are going to exchange in crossfire, so that's actually a pretty intensive fire going on here. Looks like something else is going over here with the Daring as well, and a few other things as well with the Daring and the Shimikaze REPOI actually focusing fire on the Moskva, so anything can happen. So unreal, mate, unreal. And welcome Raiders from B to Captain, and thank you so much. But yes, all welcome indeed. Hashtag KOTS, folks, if you're joining the giveaway. Good luck, everybody. We'll be drawing out some Kingdom of the Sea containers and codes as well. So good luck, jump in the giveaway. Looks like JC and the Des Moines and Conqueror are actually moving to position on the Napoli, so anything can happen. So this is actually one hell of an interesting battle. Unreal. This is fantastic. I can see anything can happen, will happen in this fight. Oh, this is actually not bad battle at all. The JC Daring is actually coming to play here, so with the Daring and the Moskva coming towards Bravo, but anything can happen, will happen, so good luck, folks. This is interesting. Anything can happen with the over and C cap, so yeah. And there's like, so let's just see what's happening. And oh wow, the Daring is actually really pushing hard here, so anything can happen here. The Daring and the Kremlin are moving into position, and it looks actually pretty good. And thanks again, be the captain, stay safe, mate. But it's unreal. So we're actually gonna definitely check out, see what happens here. Like Charlie is actually interesting situation here, because the REPOI have both lost the Des Moines, and then the Shimikaze is almost dead as well too. So anything can happen here. Good luck in this battle here. REPOI is actually trying to get a feel for what JC's aggressive tactics are going on. JC is actually really pushing hard. And this is incredible. The JC is actually really pushing hard over in C, trying to retake what was lost, thanks to the REPOI actually had taken C at one point. So anything can happen, will happen here, folks, in this fight. This is actually a pretty intensive battle, so anything can happen, will happen. So don't worry, we know how it feels. Alright, so this is actually a pretty good battle coming up, folks. I mean, like, we know that this is actually still intense either way, and anything can happen. Oh, okay, no worries. This is actually not bad. So it looks like what the hell's going on here? It's like REPOI has gained the upper hand with the reset on C cap, but the points are still in favor to JC. JC are holding the line right here, folks. It goes like anything can happen with this. The Moskva is getting torped, and actually the JC has just avoided the first wave, the second wave, and now the third wave of torpedoes. Well done for JC right there. Looks like the Daring is actually getting focus fired on in the middle of the cap here, so it looks like REPOI, the Shimikaze is forced out of cap here. So it looks like they're gonna do a tactical retreat or make a stand with the smoker they got left over. The Shimikaze and the Napoli that is over here is forced to retreat at this stage, unfortunately. And they have to kite the Des Moines and Conquer and Daring as best they can. But unfortunately, JC has taken the lead in that last match at this stage. So that was a very impressive battle, folks. I don't know about you, but that was actually not bad at all. So good job to JC. Good job to JC.
The casters, lady and gents, what do we think about that one, Emmy?
Oh, I really thought REPOI might have pulled that cap point off, but just getting slaughtered there pushed them out. So they lost that opportunity to pull that game back, and JC just pushed on it.
I mean, the Conquerors, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say lucky shots. I mean, this is a game of RNG. I think skill comes into it at a certain level. But I mean, I was watching, but I wasn't watching. Like, I was watching Des Moines behind the island from Corrupt Penguin, and I saw you were like, oh, there he goes. And I was like, I saw on the indicator for the fall of the ship, I was like, have I missed something? Because he was nudged up against that island pretty well.
Just a heads up, they're swapping around, letting you know.
Roger. Porky, what'd you think?
Can we take a moment to appreciate the absolute RNG of that Conqueror? Like, that was...
That was insane.
Yeah, look, I think although REPOI lost that game, I think they looked very strong though. Like, JC were losing the trading. They won the caps though. That was the important thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think caps are understated in competitive play. Like, yes, I know kills are extremely important because it reduces DPM, health, capacity, all of that.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, this is a game to 1,000 points. And because JC were able to hold the caps for longer than REPOI were, I feel that was the reason. I actually feel like the initial trading loss on the REPOI daring was actually kind of huge because it stopped them contesting on that middle cap, which allowed the B cap to continue to roll through points for them.
Rev, what do you think?
I have to admit, when I first saw the Conqueror and how precise those shots were, I was just completely amazed. I was like actually blown away, like how he hit that high like a Citadel to begin with. And then I just said to myself, wait a minute, this is pretty damn accurate, the way he shot the higher pure broadside. Later in the game, as I was watching how they held the caps on both B and C for a long duration of the match, I said to myself, what's REPOI doing? Because like they kind of like they're trying to get a feel of the players where they're at, but they didn't make the push, and they just kind of like feel they pushed too late. You know what I mean? What do you folks?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Wolfie, what do you think was the decisive moment of the game? I think I know.
I think it's all been said there. Them taking control, JC taking control of the caps, and REPOI finally losing a few ships after a while there, but just not having enough hit points to push back.
Yeah, well, in my mind, I thought JC kind of controlled the game at the duration, regardless of the counter push. I thought REPOI might be able to do a counter push. They brought it back from 364 points in total to like 210. And then as soon as the Des Moines fell, then it was pretty much just like a domino effect, one team after another.
It was.
So I've got the replay render now, finally. Sorry. Let me just bring it up in the screen. Oh, I should... Oh, yeah, you guys can see it, right?
Can see, mate. Can see.
Okay, cool. So, the reason REPOI lost... Like, here's what I saw. The reason REPOI lost the initial two caps is because of the initial daring fight. Losing a lot of HP on the daring, I reckon. It's... I'm not sure what Fat Cat was doing this turn over here, but whatever the reason, it cost him the initial ability to have a forward scout.
Yep.
So, yeah, they had to do a counter push, which I think they did pretty effectively on the A side. And then they traded very effectively with all of their ships, even catching the Vampire. I think this was a bit lucky, though. 20k Torps should not be able to hit a DD, even with the DD's Hydra down. So I think this was just a bit of a fluke, in a sense. But yeah, Des Moines, Conqueror killing the Des Moines really turned. I think if the Des Moines wasn't lost here, their repush could have worked. But as it is, their timing was thrown off. Right. Yeah. In these type of games, especially if you're fighting back from a disadvantage, you need every second and every point to count, and to have to lose the points from losing a cruiser, and to gain points for the enemy is absolutely devastating. So I wouldn't blame REPOI for this loss. Definitely not. No. I think the only thing that they did somewhat incorrectly was the initial daring deployment. the rest is up to RNG, which is a prevalent part of this game, unfortunately.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's fair to say JC won this game. REPOI didn't lose it, per se. Again, I said to you the first week I was casting Sherpa that island on the A cap is so important. Like, a team that can get a high DPM ship there just completely wins that cap. Like, their initial deployment on the A cap was perfect. They had a Des Moines there with an Napoli as a vanguard, and it was perfect, right? Which freed up their Ohio to play the middle, and the Shimmer to play the middle.
On all servers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the straight up and unfortunately punch out the Des Moines.
So good luck.
And interesting, actually. I would have thought the A cap would be hard to take. And I think it is hard to take once it's been taken. Whilst the C cap is actually easier to do. So I do think REPOI's deployment makes more sense from a logical standpoint, just from like on paper. I think the thing that let them down was just RNG and somewhat of execution errors. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're 100% right. I mean, if you look at the layout of the cap on A, it's very closed. Where it's on C, it's really open. So the ability to retake it's kind of easy. But once you've fortified on A, unless you get a great roll of the dice like the Conqueror did, and look, Conqueror shooting AP is a bit of a shock, but
yeah, that was,
definitely. It's usually a large HE spammer.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about how the Vampire pushed straight into that island relatively fast. In my mind, he had the upper hand, and then he had to rotate forcibly out. I have to give props to the daring that held on as well. I thought he was done. He held on for the duration of the game.
Yeah, he was like down to 123. I was like, he's gone. And then to pull out of that without, losing it there, that was, I don't know.
120 HP in a dream.
But I think that is enough said about that game. Let's talk about the next map, which will be
Hotspot.
Hot spot.
Hot spot indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk